the chair for the nice introduction. I would like to straight away start by adding my own perspective to these SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals that are being talked about. As has been rightly pointed out, we should not view Goal 7 on energy in isolation. All the other goals are equally important, and I will give you my take on at least 7 or 8 of them, not just 3 or 4. And since students are present here, I think all of you who are connected with this sustainable development must have a copy of all these 17 goals. It is very much available. If you don't have, I will always help you. This is prepared by the Center for Environment Education at Ahmedabad. Now, the very first goal, which is the prime goal of ending poverty. So we have been saying this over the 5 years. This was mentioned in 2015, but much before that, that solar energy has a large potential for poverty alleviation, which is not just in terms of creating employment, but it is in terms of economic growth, that when electricity is available, it has been demonstrated that there is a large economic growth taking place. Especially the Jyotigram Yojana that Gujarat had said, and now the entire country is going to adopt. And I have been a part of that. Even from CII, we used to always monitor, where we were initially not so sure what will be the results, but at the end of the day, we are all smiling. And therefore, it is the same thing for solar, where it is not just employment, but also the economic growth. The other important area, of course, has been mentioned as point 17, strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership. That is where I would say this Global Solar Council that Chairman mentioned, when the Prime Minister and the French President, they formed this ISA, International Solar Alliance of 121 countries, which is government to government. But at that time, around the same time, all the private sector people got together. So as a response to Prime Minister Modi's this ISA, they all decided to form the Global Solar Council, where of course USA, Japan, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, everybody is there, Israel, Middle East, China, India, and they have duly recognized the importance of China and India. See, today, let us all know that China is number 1 in the field of solar. They have displaced Germany. And India, we were nowhere and we are now in top 10, we will soon be in top 5. So that top 10 has been recognized, and I was taken as co-chairman, and Jifan Gao, my counterpart, who is the chairman of the Trina Solar, the famous company, is my counterpart in China. So this is a due recognition of the country, as I say, of China and also India, whatever we are doing. So it is not an individual that is important, but the company that has been recognized. So this Global Solar Alliance, also I would like to touch on one point, that in New York this April, there was a huge event held by the what is known as the Terawatt Initiative. Then ISA, our CII, and all the concerned big people were present, including our Minister Piyush Goyal, Secretary Eminari Tripathi ji, and our all industry players. There, from the Global Solar Council side, we said that apart from doing research, etc., which I will touch upon a little later, important is that this $1 trillion, what will it do? That is important. It should create employment, and it should create economic growth. So we as Global Solar Council have taken a target of creating 10 million jobs in the ISA countries. We have given it in writing as duly acknowledged by ISA. Similarly, I would also say that this water that is being talked about, that also, that nexus, I am giving another perspective, just not the what you call cooling of the panels, for which there are some solutions we can talk about, but in the conventional grid, not only cooling towers, but I always emphasize these points, and students who are here, please, I reiterate this at many points in the last 3-4 years. The energy coming out of this luminaire, do you know what proportion is coming out starting from coal mining? The entire process, that in coal mining also we use energy, in gradation of coal, in washing of coal also we use energy. Then in transportation of coal to the thermal plant, in a place like Gujarat, we get it from 2000 kilometers. So the wagons are using diesel, electric, etc. And how efficient electric is, we all know. And then it comes to the thermal plant and it goes to the boiler. And that straight away the efficiency is lost at boiler stage itself in converting it into steam. Then steam drives the turbine, efficiency loss. Turbine drives the rotor, there is efficiency loss. Rotor to the bus bar, there is efficiency loss. Bus bar to here, ups and downs of, step up and step down. Bus bar to here, everyone knows national figure is 28% loss. But the earlier part, not so many people know. And I have my counterparts in electricity board. We always keep on talking. We are all engineers. We are not connected with politics or anything. We are connected with figures. Let me give you that figure for India. 4% comes out. 96% is the colossal loss in conventional grid. When I mentioned to a very eminent person, he says, Mr. Mehta, please don't bluff. I said, please get it verified. He got it verified from IIT Delhi. I think Mr. Bansal was here the other day. He confirmed that in other countries it is 9% and in our case it is 4%. Meaning thereby there is 96% colossal loss of efficiency in the grid conventional. And that is where I said that there is a water electricity nexus, that this 96% that goes waste, 96% water is wasted, which is not cooling towers, it is in the steam. So, whenever we are planning a new coal-based plant, and these days, talking of the pricing also, I can dwell at length on pricing, anybody who is interested, but today for thermal plant, the prices being quoted are of the order of 6 to 9 crores a megawatt. And it will take you anywhere between 4 to 5 years to put up the plant. And for solar, I will put up the same megawatt in 5 crores and in 6 months. So that is the kind of potential. Of course, there are many other goals. I am in view of the paucity of time. Anybody who wants to discuss, I can easily discuss, because there are some 2-3 other important points that I would still like to mention. Our organizers have done a very good job by giving this REN 21 report. We should every year read this. And what it says, that now renewable energy is taking center stage everywhere. Our own figure as of yesterday, India, 44 gigawatts is renewable energy. Meaning thereby it is touching 15%. Whereas the world is in future talking of 10% or something like that. We have achieved 15% and we are going to achieve 30% and more. So this REN 21 also has said, and the year 2015 was an year of real happenings in which these sustainable goals were decided by UN in September. Then in December, COP21 took place, where all the countries, ISA was formed, and all the goals and all these our intended national goals were also fixed. Also, our Global Solar Council was fixed. So 2015 has really made all the difference, and 2015 was the year when the renewable energy prices crashed, and we started rushing towards grid parity. So friends, these are the main points. If I have 2 more minutes, I can still you see, for this water that is needed for solar, already there is an Israeli company You can see them next month at REI here, and I have known them for quite some time. In Israel, you know, they have all this water problem, so they have developed this robotic cleaning, where no water is required. So we may have to adapt that, and already some of our people, including Sun Edison, which had faced problem, had placed orders, and these assets are being transferred to Greenco. In other words, there are some other companies who have placed orders on them, and that is a real good thing that is happening. And friends, when I go, I was recently at Munich, I was at Düsseldorf, before that I was at Shanghai, and there I am saying this, that Indian solar companies are having a nice time. Tenders are pouring in, our people are really busy. Of course, there is all these prices are coming down, and therefore, out of our goal of 60 gigawatts of grid connected power and 40 gigawatts of solar rooftop, 15 gigawatts of grid connected will be there by 2017. We are today already at plus 8,000. And we are sure that by March 2017, we will be 15,000, which will be 25% of the goal achieved by 2017 for 2022. So I always mention to MNRE Secretary also that, sir, gigawatt is okay, on track. They may have some small problems here and there. But rooftop, which is a game changer, which can be a game changer, will face problem, is facing problem. And we have to solve that. There is a business model for grid connected power, gigawatts, but for rooftop, the real model is still to emerge. And we all have to put our heads together. And we are National Solar Energy Federation are already addressing this. Friends, as some of you know, this is an umbrella organization of all solar stakeholders, developers, manufacturers, EPC, researchers, everybody together, including small kilowatt people and also NGOs and balance of plant people. So we take up all the national issues, policy advocacy, etc., with the government. And one more thing, along with water in solar, wherever possible, we should think of the agricultural part also. And Germany has already come out, and also some people have practiced that we should design in a manner that agriculture does not, suffer because of this. And we have also given this model to Haryana, and it can be replicated everywhere, that every farm, instead of asking for electricity, can give electricity. That if he needs for 5 HP water pump, he puts up 10 kilowatts, and at farm that place is available, and he feeds that 5 by net metering to the balance 5, if he puts up a 10 kilowatt. So I would say that Mera Kisan Bijli mangta nahi hai, deta hai. If that is the slogan I have given to the politicians, that you use this, so that will greatly help you. And friends, let us look at China. China was at 43 gigawatts last year. It displaced Germany as the leader. We all knew Germany as leader, and we still have a lot to learn from Germany. But now we have to learn from China. China this year, first half, they have put up 16 gigawatts, which we will together achieve after so many years, 15 gigawatts next 2017. They put up in just 6 months. See the pace at which they are moving. So they are already 60 gigawatts plus, and they are rushing to 100 gigawatts, and their goal is 400 gigawatts. So they are making their own contribution. And at least as far as solar is concerned, there is a great collaboration between India and China. And I am happy that we are well received whenever I am taking friends a delegation to Beijing in October during the PVCEC, where they are giving all the facility to our people. I will announce that little more sometime. And friends, one more thing that I always say, that solar is a disruptive technology. You can see that suicidal bids are taking place. There is a big competition on the one hand. On the other hand, discoms are resisting. The transmission companies are also having a run for that money. They have to perform. Nobody can have a cushy job now at SLDC also. So And manufacturers in India, at least their order books are full today, but they are very small capacity as we said, and two more plants are coming up. 1 gigawatt plant is coming up by Adani, integrated plant at Mundra, and Trina Solar, China is putting up in Telangana. So we from the National Solar Energy Federation side are encouraging this. And yesterday we discussed, I am mentioning this last point, on technology. I have been saying all along that how long can we sustain this 20%? We have to think of something much higher. As he rightly said, in space, I am connected with space-based solar power. So we are using 38%, 40% efficiency in space-hardened solar cells. Already all these spacecrafts, you know. Why can't we use that in the civil side also? Only because the costs are high on the space side. Space can afford. But if we can bring it from laboratory to this, imagine that instead of 5 acres, you require 2.5 acres. Imagine the cost coming down. So technology is something that we have to do. There is a printing technology, which is already Australia is already adapting. So the secretary talked yesterday, he talked here in our forum also day before yesterday. And we are going to have a discussion on how we can adapt some of these technologies. So friends, there is a great future for solar, and I just talked of solar, similar potential in wind, similar potential in small hydro, and most importantly, waste to energy. So friends, these words, I close my observation.